Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Steve again, Harmless Rebel. Time for another vinyl update. Let's just jump in. First up, an EP, Half Past Human from Sirith Ungol. I remember them announcing that this was getting released, and I forgot about it. And then I was at one of my local stores about a week ago that never has metal. And they had a big stack of stuff that had just come in, and this was among it. So from the Epic Metal Masters, Half Past Human, killer EP. I'm really digging this. I've already spun it 4 or 5 times. This one is the red and black marbled version of the EP. Next up, I was super stoked to run across this. And this, the young guy, he's probably in his late 20s. I say young guy, who works at the register at one of the local stores, is a big time thrash and hardcore fan. And when he saw me bring this up, it turned into like a 30-minute discussion. I've always loved this album. I love their second album as well. This one has always been just one step above for me, but Life of Dreams by Crumbsuckers. If you're not familiar with the Crumbsuckers, I don't know if they're the first crossover band, but they're one of the first. Hardcore mixed with thrash, and a bunch Trapped, Just Sit There. A few of these songs have been covered by thrash bands and hardcore bands. Just one of the New York greats, though, the Crumbsuckers. Next up, this one is Scott did a recent death metal album or death metal video, and I hadn't listened to this in years, so I went ahead and pulled it out. This is Tales from a Thousand Lakes. Tales from the Thousand Lakes. Just one of the all-time classics. This is the best thing that Amorphous ever released. They've had some other stuff that I've liked, but nothing even compares to how amazing this album is. Just one of the must-have death metal albums. Next up, a twofer. I actually got these from different spots, but I was on the Real Gone Music website looking at something else that I heard was being released, and I noticed that this had come out, and I missed it, so I ended up ordering it off of eBay. Unfortunately, it came a little bit damaged. I don't know if you guys can even see it. Probably that doesn't look like you can. There's a big crease right here, though. And unfortunately, I didn't see it until like a month later, so it was too late for me to do anything about it. But this is the singles, 79 to 84. The singles release that they originally did was on CD only, if I remember correctly, and it was 2 discs. So this is basically the first disc of that. But just all their singles and B-sides. I already have a good portion of them on 12-inch and 7-inch, but still, it's really nice to have them in one spot. This got a bunch of spins. And then this is one that I completely missed. I don't know how, because I love this band. But this was limited to 500 only. Record store day. When was this? 2018, April 2018. I don't know how I missed this, unless this was like a Europe only release. I don't know, but this is Demolition Girls live in London, October 1st, 1980. This is them very early on. So they're doing covers. They cover Tush on here, which is a really good cover of the ZZ Top album. This is 194 out of 500. When I saw this on eBay, and I think I paid $23 for it, so it wasn't anything astronomical. I had to have it. Fantastic. From one of the great new wave of British heavy metal bands. Oh, next up is Crowbar. I've mentioned them in a number of videos recently. As E1 has been pressing their stuff, I'm trying to get it. It all sells out fast, and the prices go through the roof for Crowbar. Symmetry in Black is a fantastic album. One I highly recommend. Can't wait to see these guys the first part of next year. Next up, this is one I was so stoked was being pressed to vinyl. I ran across the CD by accident, and I would have passed right by it if not for the hype sticker that said side project from John Oliva of Sanctuary. And I couldn't grab the CD fast enough. And I remember Scott and I talking about this a few years back. how, you know, we can't believe that this didn't turn into a bigger thing. That this wasn't one of those big albums with the same. I keep saying Sanctuary. Give me a second. Why can't I think? Sabotage. Oh my God. Sabotage. John Oliva. One of his. This may have been one of the first albums he did after Sabotage split up. But Dr. Butcher. It's fantastic. The artwork is terrible. It's a really bad photocopy. Which sucks. But yeah, if I saw this, it was up on a wall, and I would have passed right by this 9 out of 10 times had it not in big, in big print on the CD said John Oliva. Fantastic album though. If you like Sabotage, you got to have that. Next up, Flotsam and Jetsam. This one's finally getting there. I would like to see more of the 90s albums get pressed. It's actually a 2000s album, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong, though. Number 203 out of 500. Night of the Vinyl Dead has been pressing some amazing stuff. And unfortunately, there's nobody out here in the U.S. distributing it. So every once in a while, you get lucky and you find something. That's what happened with this. I was able to find it from a local seller or a U.S. seller that sells through eBay. But Flotsam and Jetsam, Unnatural Selection, fantastic album. I know a lot of people fell off of Flotsam and Jetsam in the early 90s with Quattro and one of the other albums. They've been putting out really killer albums. This is not as good as our last two, which have been Album of the Year material. But still, this is a killer album, and it's a must-have for any Flotsam and Jetsam fans. They're going to disappear quick, so grab that one while you still can. Next up, I don't know if it's Malachi or Malakia, but this is Under the Blade. This is their I believe this is their debut. Scott will have to put in the comments if I'm wrong. But this was just repressed by Rox Records. This one is more metal than the other release that Rox did a few years ago. It's really fantastic. I've played this quite a bit. Highly recommend grabbing this one if it's even still available. I know this is one of the limited run, or no, this was a different series. What is this? The Rox 100 series. So yeah, there's only 100 pressings of this. And then there's the sticker. But yeah, I'm not sure if it's Malachi or if it's Malachi or Malachia. I'm not sure how they pronounce it. Next up, Generation. This is a cool album. This is one that I passed up on when it came out, just because I thought it was like $40, $38, and I didn't think it was worth that. It went on clearance. I think I got it for 22 or 23, but this is Brutal Reality. 90s industrial metal. Very cool. Really enjoyed it. If it's still on sale, this was Girder. If it's still on sale, grab it. I don't think it's a $38 album, but if you can get it in the 20s, it's a fantastic album. It's a nice one to add to the collection if you're into the 90s industrial sound. Let's see, is that the last one? Yeah. And next up, Gravedigger Symphony of Death. I talked about this when I bought the last Gravedigger EP. Jolly Roger pressed this, and they sold out super fast. I was able to find a copy for a decent price. I think I still paid like 32 or 33 bucks, which is a lot for an EP. But again, great. Jolly Roger, while they are pressing really rare stuff and doing a small run pressing, they put no thought into the artwork. It's basically just a blow up of the CD, and it looks terrible, but it sounds fantastic, and it's a must-have for any Gravedigger fan. And then last but not least, the album that everybody is talking about, Senjutsu from the legendary Iron Maiden. This is my favorite Iron Maiden artwork. Actually, with the wooden box, there were some other artwork that came with it. The wooden box, there were like 2,021 of them created, and I think the only one that's on sale right now is like $1,700. I would love to get that, but there's some really cool artwork in there that I hope they do posters of, because there's one that I'll frame on the wall. So the album, It's way too long, number one. It's 3 LPs. They could drop the third LP off completely. I listened to it twice. I haven't gone back to the third LP. I do like the first 2 LPs. I actually think if they would have made it a single LP album, this would have made it into my top for the year. But even with the first 2, there's a couple songs I can live without. I don't have the song names in front of me. I really like the album. Is it as good as any of their 80s or early 90s albums? No. It's better than their last few, though, for sure. I would have to go back and listen to their last album, because I listened to it like 3 or 4 times and I haven't touched it since. So I may listen to that one again, because I hear a lot of people talking about it, and maybe I'll give it another chance. The album before that, this just blows away anything that they've put out in the 2000s. Is it something I'm going to listen to a whole lot? I'm still listening to it quite a bit right now. When I first got it, I listened to it like 4 or 5 times that first 2 days. I've listened to it, I would say, once every other day, give or take, since. I've got it on my Spotify in the car. Unfortunately, my car doesn't have, the new cars don't have CD players anymore. You can't even special order one with a CD player for what I was looking for. So, that's kind of what it is. I really like the album. It's not going to make my top 10 of the year. That's probably it. It would make my top 25, probably. It's a great album for Iron Maiden, though. I hear a lot of people talking about it, how they've gone more progressive. Writing long-ass songs is not progressive. The music itself is not progressive. The only thing that makes it progressive is the songs are long as hell. Even the shorter songs are like 5 or 6 minutes. Like I said, though, if they lobbed off the third LP, which is the last 2 songs, it would be twice as good as what I rate it. But still, a solid album, and one, at least in the short time, or for the next couple weeks to month, I'll be listening to pretty regularly. They're still one of my all-time favorite bands. I love the artwork on this, let me tell you. If you're familiar with me, I lived in Japan for 10 years. I love Japanese culture. You can see the masks there. Actually, my wife is quarter Japanese, although you would not know it from looking at her. But the artwork across the board is fantastic. I can't wait till they tour the U.S. For this album. That's it, guys. I hope everybody's good. Take care. Stay safe. Subscribe. And I'll see you soon. Later, VC.